Hello, everyone. It's your boy Terrence with Hollywood Already Did It. And right now, as you all know, the month of April is finally come and gone. And you know what that means.
It's gonna be May.
Justin, the month of May is already here. We're in it. Just be quiet a minute so I can keep talking. So now we're in the month of May. The shadow of Avengers Endgame is starting to dissipate a little bit. We're kind of now seeing what the rest of the films for the rest of the summer looks like. And May is stock full of big films, but I'm going to talk to you about the 3 films that may be going under the radar that you might not have your eye on. All right, talk to you guys about those after the jump. All right, so let's get started. Now, of course, you guys all know about the big films that are coming out in May. You got your Aladdins, you got your John Wick 3s, you got your Godzillas, and you even got Detective Pikachu for those Pokemon fans. But I'm talking about these super small films that if you have a little extra money, you might want to say, oh, I want to take my girl out on a date, or you just don't know about these films. Or if you're like me and you got the AMC Stubs list or whatever type of subscription service to any of these movie theaters, these are the ones that I think you're going to want to check out, all right? Number 3 is The Sun is Also a Star, coming out May 17th, starring Yara Shahidi from Blackish and Grownish and Charles Melton from Riverdale. Now, if you haven't seen the trailers for this one's about a young girl who is black and a young man who is Asian who fall madly in love with each other on one day. But in the backdrop of the young lady's mind, she knows that she has to be deported the very next day because her papers are illegal. So it's about trying to decide how much of my heart can I give, how much can I keep, but I do really like this guy. Now, if you don't know me, I'm a sucker for romance and relationships. Moulin Rouge is one of my favorite movies ever. In saying that, I think this is going to be a good palate cleanser for all the other stuff where you got King Kong fighting Godzilla fighting whoever, and you got Aladdin flipping over this way. This is going to be that small movie that kind of gives you a moment to kind of just say, you know what? I like love. Love is great.
It's gonna be May.
Justin, no one said anything about May. No one said a word. What are you doing? Sorry. Number 2 is a film coming out May 21st called Booksmart, directed by Olivia Wilde. Now, if you haven't seen the trailers for this, this is about 2 young high school girls who've kind of been straight on the straight and narrow with their entire high school life. And on their last day, they decide to like, you know what? F it. Let's just go buck wild and like break the rules and do something wild and crazy. So they give themselves something to remember. Think sort of like a Superbad, but for young ladies, a coming of age story for young girls. And I think this is very important to be seen, very important that it's a woman doing it, and very important that sort of like Blockers did last year, kind of gives us the coming of age story from the non-male point of view. And I think that's very important, very strong that we start getting all of these films to everyone gets a voice, It's produced by Will Ferrell and Adam McKay. It's starring Beanie Feldstein, who happens to be Jonah Hill's younger sister, and Caitlin Dever, who most people would know from Justified. She played Loretta, who was little tiny Loretta then, but she was great in those scenes. She now has a feature film as well. If you haven't seen the trailer, you should. It's also at South by Southwest, and it got some really, really great reviews. I think this is going to be one that gets some kind of buzz going about it. I think it's one you should definitely have your eye out on. And number 1, coming out on the same day as Booksmart, is Brightburn, also May 24th, from the executive producer James Gunn, written from his brothers Mark and Brian Gunn, and starring Elizabeth Banks. Now, I know the superhero genre for some people has gotten a little old, and you're like, oh, I'm tired of all these superhero things, superhero fatigued. $1.2 billion later, I call BS, but whatever. This is going to be a small twist on the superhero genre, and think of it if there was a young man who was sent down from another planet to Earth, and instead of becoming the red cape superhero that we know of as Superman, he becomes something much worse, something much sinister. And how do we on this world sort of deal with the power set that this young person from another place has? Starring Elizabeth Banks, looks like a very dark, twisted, and kind of horrific version of the Superman story, and I'm all for it. But those are 3 films that I think you guys should check out in the month of May. If, say, something else got sold out, you happen to be an A-list member, or you just want to do something different than what everybody else is doing. I think these are the 3 that'll kind of get the wheels turning in the brain a little bit more than the typical blow-up stuff, and get you something to think about, the non-normal blockbuster flicks, If there's something else that you want to see in May that I did not mention, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Or if there's another one of the big films that you're like, yeah, I know those movies are coming out. I get what you're saying, Terrence, but I really care about these big boys over here. I understand. I'm going to probably see both of them as well. But go ahead and leave those comments as well. We'll go ahead and have a discussion in the group. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet and ring that bell below. First 500 folks will be the founder of the channel. I'll give somebody something nice for sticking around and telling all their friends about it, okay? You can find our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, wherever podcasts are played, where we just recently talked about Avengers Endgame, and we'll keep talking about all the other sequels, reboots, and remakes that the world keeps giving us, you know? And like always, I got my ticket. You got yours?
It's gonna be May.
No, it's May now, Justin. It's now.